what inspired you to take this monumental challenge of completing 7 marathon in 7 continents in 7 days?
That's totally who I am. I'm just an average person who runs it for fun and for health reasons. And I strongly feel showing people that if you set your mind to it, you can do it. Surprised at how well the body recovers with such little sleep, food, all of that, and can still keep going. Picking a big challenge can be overwhelming or daunting, but break it down into smaller pieces, yes, and that way it seems achievable. Ask for help, ask for professional support, take care of yourself and do it one little bit at a time, but dream big and aim for the stars.
Hey family, today we have an amazing guest, and you already met her once before, Dr. Smitha Warrior, and I'm very, very excited about what we're going to talk. So when we met last time, she was ready to go to a 777 challenge, and that's running 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. Now she's come back and she's going to tell her story to us. I'm very excited to hear from her and her journey and her lessons that she's learned, her amazing experience, all of that she's going to share with us. I can't wait to hear more. So look forward to talking to her. And over to you, Dr. Smitha. Hey, Dr. Smitha, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Great, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to hear your story about the finishing the marathon, the 777. I had the opportunity to, follow you while you were, doing your gig. But that's phenomenal. I mean, I'm so happy for you. And I think you completed in like 5 days and 6 hours or something?
5 days and like 22 hours.
22 hours?
Yes,
okay.
A little short of 6 days. Yes.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Was that the plan always?
No, I think they made it up on the fly. When they saw how well we were doing in the first few races, they realized that if they scrambled some and got us to the next continent quick, they had a chance of doing it in under 6 days. And so it was a scramble from that point on.
Great. So you're officially a finisher now.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, there you go. Nice one. Okay. Let's just go a little bit back on your journey. And I just want to know what inspired you to take this monumental challenge of completing 7 marathon in 7 continents in 7 days?
As far as let me start with the motivation. Yeah. I heard about this race only just over a year ago, and that was kind of markedly different from some of the other runners that were on here. People said it had been their dream for like 10 years, and ever since they had heard about it and had been building up to and training for that. I heard about it last year when a friend shared it with me, and I'm always looking to do things that kind of challenge me and push me beyond my limits. And so I said, why not? It seems easy enough to do when something is far out in the future. Right. So it didn't take much to get me to sign up. And I wanted to do it for a good cause. So I feel like people look at people like me, maybe just an average Joe, if you will. Yeah. And it is nice for other people to see how some quote unquote a regular person what they can do and achieve. Oh, please, no. That's totally who I am. I'm just an average person who runs it for fun and for health reasons. And I strongly feel showing people that if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And I grew up in India, and there are girls there who might not have opportunities like I do, and to show them that this is possible, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I truly believe that. That was my motivation.
Cool. So I know it's quite a toll on your physical as well as mental capacities. So how did you prepare physically and mentally for such an intense training?
So I decided that I was going to be training diligently for 6 months. So August 1st was my kind of official first day of the training
August
program.
1st.
Yes, but I had a base. I've been a runner for many years now, so I had a decent base going in. But August 1st is when I officially started training for this. I there are no training plans out there for something like this because not too many people have done it. And so I made up a plan and kind of tweaked it as I went along.
You stuck to that.
Yes. And so, yes, once I'd kind of finalized it, I'm proud of it, of the fact that I religiously stuck to the plan and pretty much did every run that I had planned to do. And I slowly built up the volume over the months, and then had a couple of kind of focused events where I was running back to back and worked on my training like that.
Excellent, excellent. So can you share some specific details about the training routine that you did? Maybe if somebody who's looking at this, they want to be inspired, and they may get some ideas from you.
So like I mentioned, I began August 1st, and August and September were gradual ramping up months. In October, I was running 5 or 6 days a week, so I would run every weekday morning and then do long back-to-back runs on Fridays and Saturdays. So they would be 15 milers or 20 milers each on both days. And then Sunday would be a rest day. I tried to throw in strength training too. It is hard from just a time point of view. I was running out of time, especially as the miles added up and took up more of my time. I did in October 7 half marathons back to back in 7 days, and I did it while I was working. I didn't take any time off work, so I would come back from work and run the half, and I felt really good after that, so that gave me confidence that
you can do it.
At least I'm halfway there.
Yeah. So when you say ramping up, are you really talking about ramping up, let's say, half a marathon to a full marathon, or was it all full marathons that you did?
No, it is actually kind of less than that. On the weekdays, I would only do like 5 or 6 miles. So ramping up in the sense of adding on more days and adding a couple miles each day more. So if one week I did 4 miles 3 days, then I gradually worked it up to 6 miles 5 days. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And any change in the food and the routines and things like that?
To some extent, I eat fairly clean, and I could have perhaps done better. But again, to eat clean and to focus really on nutrition definitely takes time and meal prep, and there's only so much time in a day, so I did the best I could, so I have no regrets with that. I do eat clean, and so
that kind of helped. So over the years, whatever you have, eating clean actually has helped you.
I totally think so. I think it helps a whole lot with recovery, so not only in the performance at the moment, but also after that to recover, so that you can get up and do it again the next day.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about the experience, the challenge experience. So what were some of the most memorable moments from each of your runs in each of these continents? So we'll just go one by one.
Okay. We met up in Cape Town and had a pre-race briefing, and then our first race was in Antarctica. Just the flight was amazing. It was in a Russian cargo plane with no windows, and it was an almost 6-hour flight. So
and no windows, just talking to each other.
Yes, not able to talk to each other a whole lot either. But we caught up on some of our sleep there. Yeah. And then once we landed in Antarctica, it was incredible. It's a landscape like nothing I've seen before.
White, all white.
Yes, ice and snow as far as the eye can see, and there are mountains in the background. It was amazing. And
then?
So in Antarctica, it was there were sections of blue ice, and that made it a little challenging because they can be real slippery. But just being in a place like that was awe-inspiring. And after that, we ran in Cape Town. That was a warm race. It was about 60 degrees warmer than we were in Antarctica.
60 degrees Fahrenheit?
It was 76 there, and it was 16 in Antarctica. So there was a 60-degree difference. Yes. And that had been less than 12 hours difference between. We started Cape Town 11 hours after we finished Antarctica.
How did your body cope to the temperature change?
It felt very warm, and it was there was no shade, and it was a bit of a struggle. But there were very cool things, like there were ships on the ocean in Cape Town that looked beautiful. There were paragliders landing right next to us. And it was a beautiful place to be.
Nice. And then after that, where did you go?
After that, we went to Australia. And
another part of the world, okay.
Absolutely, like a 15-hour flight, and we were in Australia, the highlight of that one was that a friend from dental school who I hadn't seen in 28 years, he met me there, and he had some friends from India on FaceTime, so I had huge support. That really
motivated you to.
Absolutely, it was huge. And then the race was at night, so it was a very peaceful, cool run. That was my fastest race. So
is it? Okay.
Yes, it was incredible.
And how long this Russian cargo plane came?
No, that was only to Antarctica.
Okay.
And from Cape Town onwards, it was in a chartered plane.
Okay,
so,
okay,
yes.
okay. And then after Australia, where did you
We
go?
went to Dubai, and that was a warm one as well. That was a challenging race. I had some stomach issues too, so that made it even more challenging.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, it was in it was in the Expo City, and the finish line is under a beautiful, massive dome where they have light and sound projection. So it feels surreal after you're exhausted and you finish in there.
Looks like they were waiting for you.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and after Dubai?
We went to Spain, and the race was on a racetrack
Mm-hmm.
with two huge hills on there, and I was very concerned going in because I do not train on hills. I do not like them, and I thought I would do really badly, but I was amazed at how consistent I was and how well I did on there. I felt great. I enjoyed the experience. It was awesome.
So that was the fifth one.
Right.
Spain was the fifth. Which was the sixth?
Sixth was Brazil. That was the most difficult by far.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was 95 degrees and
Wow.
yes, with high humidity, and it was a challenge. It was everyone slowed down on that race. It was a difficult one to do, but proud to have finished it, especially with it being the sixth one.
Absolutely. And then you did Miami.
Right. We finished up in Miami, and that was great. It was exciting to be back at your home country, but also to see friends and family.
Yeah, I know Indu came there.
Yes, my
a bunch
friend.
of others, yeah.
Yes, my friend Leanne traveled to Miami. My husband and kids were there. Indu showed up as a complete surprise. I did not know she was coming, and then Manoj and Mona were there too. So yes, it was awesome to have that kind of support and just see friends and family and finish the last one at home. So
cool. So of all these 7 continents that you've done, if you were to pick the best experience, the best, what would be that?
I would say Australia, well, and Antarctica. They are a close tie.
Second,
Yes,
okay.
but yeah, Antarctica, just because it's so special, it's not. It's a privilege to be able to run there, and it was an amazing terrain and views. Australia was also cool because we ran it at night, and it was awesome. There were fishermen fishing at night with lights, so you could see the glow in the water as you ran beside it. That was a fun experience.
Was it your first time to Australia?
Yeah, but I've not been to any of these places.
Oh, really?
So,
Except
Miami, yes.
Cool. How did you manage the logistic aspects of traveling between continents? If you could just expand on that.
So it was the organization in Runbuck that handled it. They did a phenomenal job with it. It was so we would start in a continent, run the race. It was a generous time allowance of 8 hours. So people were given 8 hours to finish the race, but I finished on average at about 5.5 hours.
Okay.
And right after you finish, they would kind of hustle you to go shower, grab a bite to eat if you could, and then put you on a bus to go back to the airport. So we were constantly moving. There wasn't much downtime at all. In fact, no downtime at all. And they would put us on a bus, take us to the airport. We go through customs and all that.
So you all
back
waited,
on a plane.
So you all waited together to go as a group, or you went
Mostly. So around the 5.5, 6 hour mark, they would take the people, and for the couple runners that were still on the course, they would say they would just Uber them. But that way the bulk of us could get through customs and be ready to go.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And were there any unexpected challenges during the 7-day period?
I think I focused a lot on how cold it would be in Antarctica and kind of over prepared and worried about that. And turns out that wasn't the challenge at all. It was great weather, I won't say easy, but easily manageable to run there. But Brazil, I did not expect it to be that hot. Even the day before, they had said a forecast of thunderstorms, and I love running in the rain. So I was really disappointed that it did not rain at all, and that the heat, it was incredibly hard to deal with that, and that surprised me. Being from India, you would think we are used to the heat, but yeah, not so much when you have to run a full marathon in that kind of weather.
Yeah. So, you ran for a cause, and I'd like to know a little bit about the cause. I know we talked in our previous podcast, and as much as possible, I'd like to kind of promote this as well. So, if you could just expand that cause that you're running for, that would be phenomenal. Yeah.
So, it's an organization named Saki that is based in Mumbai, India, and they work with girls who live in in India, slums, temporary housing, and they have limited access to going to school and the resources they need to support them during their education. Unfortunately, in India, as you might know, boys' education is given more importance and prominence, and it is almost an afterthought, especially in the poorer communities. For girls' education, it is considered optional, and I think that is a huge kind of injustice. Anything we can do to change that. In fact, I think girls' education is even more important than boys, because girls often end up being the head of or the mom of a whole family and influence the kids and the family far more. So I think educating a girl changes
the world,
makes a ripple effect and makes change in multiple ways. Absolutely. And so Sakhi helps fund and send these girls to schools and help them with education, but also supporting them and giving them the resources to further their education beyond that. And I think that's huge, and that's something we can support and make a big difference.
So when did you connect with them?
It's been about a year and a half or 2 years that I had been in communication with them, and then when I made a trip to India, I went and visited them and saw firsthand the work they were doing, and it was very gratifying to meet the kids, and they felt too like they could identify with me, because I was a kid that grew up in Bombay as well, and I spoke Marathi, the local language. So, and they were kind of in awe that I'm doing or attempting something like this, and that's exactly what I want to show them, that anybody can do this or do hard things if they set their mind to it.
Absolutely. So is there any particular story that you want to share from the Sakhi's fraternity that kind of resonates with you?
Actually, the founder herself, she shared her story with me, and she was saying how she has several siblings, and her dad definitely did not want her to go to school. She actually had a brother who passed away due to suicide, and yes, the parents were very involved with that, and they did not think that she deserved or needed an education. They wanted her to focus more on the home, and she actually defied her parents and put herself through school and suffered tremendously because of that, because she didn't have the familial support that she needed. And she wanted to make a change, and she said she herself was struggling because she had lost her brother, and felt like obviously there are many other issues besides just the access to education. There is a lot of things going on in families, and anything we can do to support from outside makes a big difference to the life of these kids.
Absolutely. So what impact has your marathon had on raising awareness and funds for Sakhi?
I am honestly very surprised in a good way. I have had messages from people all over the world, from friends and strangers, and they send me a message saying, oh, this has inspired us to do this, or we are looking more at the organization, and people make me donations from anywhere from $5 to $500, and it is
gratifying.
Yes, that is amazing. That makes obviously a huge difference. But the awareness, when people realize that these problems exist, something they may have, that people are genuinely empathetic but may have not thought of a problem like this that exists, to bring shine a spotlight on something like that and bring that into focus, I think is by far the best effect of doing something like this.
If I may ask, and feel free not to answer, how much were you able to raise?
So I'm very excited to tell you that I'm close to 20,000.
That's phenomenal.
Yes,
Okay.
there were a couple of big events that we did. There was running race that we held here locally, where I believe almost 80 runners showed up.
Wow.
And registered and showed up and made donations above and beyond the race entry as well. And friends Akila and Ramesh helped hugely with organizing that.
Sure.
And then we had a poker tournament, and
Yeah.
Manoj and Mona and Naveen helped with that. And that actually, honestly, I have no idea of how poker works, and it introduced me to a whole community where people are looking to help, and this was a perfect way for them to have fun and give back as well. So
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah.
So, how can others be involved and to support causes that you're passionate about?
So there are different ways. Definitely making a donation helps in bettering their lives. They can use logistical support too on the ground. So if there are people who are based in India, they can volunteer their time and support. Again, spread the word. Talk about it with 5 friends of yours, so that
of course.
you spread the word and people are aware of the conditions there.
Cool. So, any future challenges or projects that you intend to take that will actually help the underprivileged?
So
girls?
again, from all the messages and all the contacts I've gotten from doing this, I am genuinely surprised at how many people reach out even when they don't know about me or know me at all. And this has strengthened my resolve to make sure that any challenges I take up in the future would be for a cause. It is great to be able to challenge myself and see what I'm capable of doing, but it's so much more satisfying when there's a bigger purpose behind it.
Absolutely. And what's the next one?
I am still thinking on that.
Still
I
thinking.
need friends to make suggestions, because any kind of crazy idea, it doesn't take much to get me to sign up for it. But
Okay.
I'd like to focus on strength training and hiking more this year until the next crazy idea comes along.
Any plans this year particularly yet identified? No.
No, I want to be hiking more, so we have picked a couple big hikes. It's difficult to get in. There are actually lotteries for hiking that you have to put your name in for. So yes, just literally waiting in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll know if we got the lottery.
Yeah.
But some challenging hikes.
Wow, that's new to me. Lottery
Yes.
for hiking.
That's the kind of lottery I want to win. But,
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about advice for aspiring marathoners. So what advice would you give to someone considering such a challenge?
I would say get your training plan well in advance, figure it out, decide how much time you have to be able to devote to this each day, each week, and kind of work backward from there. I think a challenge like this is doable if you have a reasonable level of fitness and are a runner or aspire to be a runner. But I would say, depending on your fitness level, give yourself a good 6 months to a year to prepare for it. Lean on friends for support. I think that is the biggest make it or break it thing, because you'll have many lonely hours where you're running alone and find it hard to find the motivation to get out there and do it. But when you have a bigger why, it makes it easier. Focus on recovery and nutrition.
Awesome. And I know you're a dentist, you practice daily. And how do you balance your professional and your personal goals?
So I have my own practice. I'm a solo practitioner. So all the decisions, all the good and the bad, that is all my responsibility at work. And so I give it 110%, whether I'm at work or in my personal life. So when I'm at work, I'm giving it my all. That's entirely my focus.
Being in the present.
Exactly. And while over the weekends, I am focused on, I guess, personal growth and my well-being. And I think focusing some time on myself in terms of going for a run or going to the gym is huge, not only in my personal life, but also making me a better professional. having said that, I couldn't do any of this without the full support of my husband. He
of course, yeah,
is amazing, and yes, my
shout
backbone.
out to Shashi.
Absolutely, yes. Without him
and the
supporting
family,
me,
of course,
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
It's been years and years that I've been doing stuff like this, and his standard line is, "You go out and do what you need to. I got it here." And he holds the fort down at home, and even when the kids were younger, did a bunch of things with them so that I would be freed up to do my stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Should I call him a lucky husband or a lucky wife?
I think I'm the lucky one here.
Cool.
It's
both of you are lucky.
Yes, there you go. It is a partnership. I would like to think we both kind of support each other in our endeavors.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about some of the key lessons that you learned throughout your. I know a lot of people reached out to you. You had friends and family support and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. What other things did you get out of it?
So during the training itself, I learned a lot about myself, during the race too, about how you think you can't go a step more and then you do it anyways. And I believe a lot of it is mental. Physically, within reason, again, if you're healthy and you are trained, you can do anything if you set your mind to it. I think a lot of it, most of it is mental. And I was, I guess, surprised at how well the body recovers with such little sleep, food, all of that, and can still keep going. But also, I met so many cool people during this race, and everybody has a story. And there are fascinating people and people of different abilities. And if you have a goal that you really, really want to achieve, nothing can stop you.
Absolutely. In fact, last week we did a podcast with a person by name, a friend of mine now. Mm-hmm. His name is Chris Whedon. Mm-hmm. He runs a company called Mentally Shredded.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And so he really talks about mental health as well as, of course, he works on, people. So he was talking about the power of being mentally fit and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I'll send you the link once we have it.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, I'm in total agreement with that. It's when your mindset is in the right place, it is opens up different avenues, but also lets you achieve and almost kind of determines or guarantees your success. So
absolutely.
It's about mindset for sure.
100%. Anything else you want to tell the audience?
I think picking a big challenge can be overwhelming or daunting, but break it down into smaller pieces. Yes, and that way it seems achievable. Ask for help, ask for professional support, take care of yourself and do it one little bit at a time, but dream big and aim for the stars. That's absolutely the only way to live life.
And be mentally strong.
Yep, there we go.
Dr. Smitha, it's been a pleasure having you
once again.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you helping me spread the word.
A pleasure. And, we look forward to having many more such conversations. I know you don't like to come in front of the camera, but we love you.
So thank you. Likewise, I appreciate the opportunity.
Pleasure. Thank you. What a great conversation we had with Dr. Smitha. Her journey from preparation to actually doing it, the 777 challenge, the support that she received from her family and friends, the foundation that she supports, people pouring in wishes from all over the world after her marathon and even before to kind of support her. That was truly, truly encouraging. I'm really looking forward for our next conversation, and I really don't know when that is going to be, but she's going to take up some bigger challenges in 2025 and 2026 and beyond, and I'm really excited for her. Keep tuning in until we bring you the next podcast for you.